All right, viewers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us in another one here on the coach's desk. We appreciate you being here, and certainly we want to discuss something that we believe it is something that should be discussed in this space because with the latest Jamaican athlete who decided to go overseas to train, I think it has rehashed this conversation. But before we get into the details, people, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also, this video is brought to you by Catch a Vibe Jerk Sauce. So if you really want to catch a vibe, you have to get this jerk sauce. Please check the link in the description and in the comment section. It is going to be pinned, and that is where the shop that you can go to catch a vibe. All right, so let's get back into this one. So in recent time, the Jamaican fan base have been having this conversation about uh, Jamaican top athletes going overseas to train, and the conversation is always surrounding are these coaches going to actually train our athletes to actually beat them, to actually do better, than we our counterparts, our main rivals, which is the United States athletes. So that is always the question. That is always the comment that are these coaches really going to? And when you look at it, quite frankly, you have never yet seen a U.S. athlete go outside of U.S. to actually train, even if their coaches are rookie, even if their coaches just entering the game or they're on their last lap. They are always the coaches that would have been chosen to guide the professional career of these top U.S. athletes. So the question is always going to be, why are we sending when we have top coaches on the island, top high school coaches, top club coaches? Why don't we give some of these high school coaches an actual chance? But when you look at the lucrative deals that they sign, when you look at the promising career, I mean, persons don't really want to take a risk with some of these athletes. And remember, not all of the athletes can actually go to the different clubs that we have in Jamaica. And we don't have a lot. To be honest and to be fair, we don't have a lot of these clubs. We can count on few ones that have really a big name, an MVP, which is a Puma club, and then you have Stephen Francis, who is responsible for the Nike athletes. So you have never seen any athlete who is signed to another shoe company is actually going to be at that club. Then you have Shaniki Osborne. She seemed to be leaning towards Adidas with the signings that she would have had. You have Elite Performance seems to be a Puma and probably mixed with a difference because Shelly and Fraser Price was there as a Nike athlete, and you have Sprint Tech, which is Adidas, and they sometimes take athletes from other shoe company as well, but predominantly Adidas. Then you have Glenn Mills over there, who's Adidas as well, the Racers Track Club. They tend to want to stick to that as well. Which other club am I leaving out? You have Swept, Swept, Swept seems to dabble in with all the brands, but I'm not sure if persons would want to be going to that. And that's the club of Rashawn Clark. Um, so it's kind of limited in terms of the options that persons would have had to, remain on the island. And also too, we have to take into consideration, people, because I've been saying this even since the onset of the switch to Turkey from several of our athletes. It is a situation, I believe, where athletes make their decision, athletes and their team make their decision, and some of them will actually hit, some of them will miss. Alana Reid went outside of Jamaica, and now she's back. You know, um, Ashanti Moore went outside of Jamaica, she's back. Cheyenne went outside of Jamaica, she's back. and the list goes on. And you have some that went out of Jamaica and they're having a professional career. Stacey and William, she came back, she went to school, came back, and then she went back overseas and she's doing pretty well. Some went through the NCA system and they decided to go professional and they are doing well. I mean, I don't have the data. We don't have time to look into the data. But my point is that not all the top talents that we have can actually remain in Jamaica. And sometimes, again, the deals that they are going to be signing, the deals that they have signed, would indicate that they will have to move. You know what I'm saying? Um, if these coaches are not going to be professional enough, and I'm not saying that they're not professional. We have seen it. We have heard Veronica Campbell Brown stipulated that she could have been further in her career, and probably in terms of times and all of these things, if you know more effort was put in. So it is a ticklish type of conversation, is a ticklish type of situation. For me, if the athletes want to go for school purpose, like a Brianna Liston, you can't fight that. You cannot fight that because, especially with the nature of track and field, where athletes tend to get injured, and if you don't have something to go back to, then you might be in some problems. Yeah. So all in all, I believe that the decision is down to the athletes team. They would have weighed the option. They would have sieved through all the nuances, all the variables, all the things that we believe that we could have surveyed to say, all right, this child needs to stay in Jamaica. And then on the fans' standpoint, they might have a pretty decent situation and idea where most times, all right, let us look at it without having the relevant data. Let us look at it. For the past, and you see, we have two things we can double into, For the past 5 years, the athletes who went overseas, what happened to them for the last 5 years, I want you to think long and hard. I'm giving the audience an opportunity to decipher. And the athletes who remain home for the last 5 years. What's the comparison in terms of moving up into the senior ranks and doing well? Well, we have Kishian, we have Oblique, mm, who else? That's just two me name, Well, Shina, Shanti return. um, hmm. All right, so four me pick up this up. Going overseas. Uh Nikisha Price, Anjanette Knight. Who else? Can't think of anybody else. You have some of the athletes who switch the win and all of these things. So when you look on it still, we might be even, Yeah, when you look at it, we might be even where it comes on to the past 5 years, those who went overseas as opposed to those who stayed home. We have a world champion, we have a world champion, we have silver medalists, and we have silver medalists on both sides. Think of it. Or we're gonna eliminate the field events and just focus on the track events. You see the point I'm making. It's kind of ticklish where you make a decision to go. I mean, is it that the coach is not going to give you all that they know to improve you, or is it that you are not going to acclimatize? Is it that you are not going to put in the work to ensure that you get to the next level? And for what I know, when the athletes go overseas, well, me talk about Akira too. I missed out Akira. More athletes that we can talk about. When I look at some of these athletes who made the trip, some of them are in contact with several coaches on the island. I can tell you that. Several of them, they are in dialogue because they want to know if this is working. What is the comparison between the program and all of these things? I can tell you that. So it kind of bring up a situation where you don't even know if it is going to work until you're in the situation. Yeah. Some of some of like I said, came back home and they decided that it's not working out for them, and they're back home and they have improved tremendously. While some went and it's working out for them. Nikisha is doing well. Um, Akira is doing well. She could have done better, but where would she, decide to stay? So it's a whole lot of things. I don't know. I'm just throwing this topic out there because I think the fans are, talking about the Megan Topper, if it's a right decision. They're talking about um Sabrina Docker, if it's the right decision, and they would have spoken about other athletes, like Brianna Liston, Akira, Nikisha, and all of these athletes that they should have, decided to remain home. But I can't knock the ones that actually go for an education. I am not knocking those. So it's kind of up in the air for me where that is concerned. Like I said, my true opinion on that, whatever decisions the athletes make, they have to live with it. And quite frankly, decisions that are being made, you can either hit or you can either miss, both ways. So at the end of the day, they must really decide how the thing work out. Want to think? Drop your comment in the comment section. And please remember to check out Ketchup Vibes, Jerk Sauce, the better vibes. Hot.